Have you ever wondered what would happen if everything you knew just ceased to exist? Not in a catastrophic way, but in an instantaneous, unimaginable blink of an eye. Imagine a scenario where the universe as we know it, with all its splendor and complexity, simply vanishes without a trace. A silent, swift eradication of everything. Sounds like a plot from a science fiction novel, right? But what if it's not just fiction? Welcome to the realm of the most terrifying theory that's rarely discussed in the corridors of science. A theory that treads on the fine line between reality and the unthinkable. It's called the false vacuum collapse. This theory suggests that our universe could be in a metastable state, teetering on the edge of a dramatic shift that could wipe out everything in an instant. This is the theory of the false vacuum, a concept so terrifying even scientists hesitate to delve into it. So what exactly is a false vacuum? To understand this, we first need to understand what physicists mean by a vacuum. In the realm of quantum physics, a vacuum isn't what you'd typically imagine, an expanse of empty space. Instead, a vacuum is considered a field pervading all, and it's characterized by having the lowest possible energy. Picture a calm sea on a windless day, tranquil and undisturbed. This sea represents the vacuum, and the water's surface, at its lowest level, is analogous to the lowest energy state of a vacuum. But here's where things get interesting. Quantum physics allows for the vacuum to be in different states, and not all of these states have the lowest possible energy. This leads us to the concept of a false vacuum. A false vacuum is a state where things appear stable like our calm sea, but there's a twist. The sea could potentially fall into a lower level, revealing a deeper and more stable state. This would be like discovering a hidden trench in the middle of the sea. Imagine being in a room that you believe to be on the ground floor, only to find out that there's a trapdoor beneath you leading to a basement. The room is a false vacuum, seeming stable and at the lowest level until the trapdoor opens, and you fall into a more stable, lower energy state, the true vacuum. Now, let's take this concept and extrapolate it to the universe. The terrifying theory proposes that our universe might be in a state of false vacuum. We might be living in a seemingly stable universe, but there could be a lower floor, a more stable state that our universe could suddenly transition into. In simple terms, we could be living in a bubble of false stability, ready to pop at any moment. But what would happen if this bubble were to burst? What would a transition from a false vacuum to a true vacuum look like? Stay tuned as we delve into these questions. Now, here's where it gets scary. What would happen if a false vacuum collapse were to occur? Imagine for a moment a world that suddenly flips. The laws of physics, as we know them, change in an instant. Sound terrifying? That's because it is. This is the reality of a false vacuum collapse. In a false vacuum collapse, the universe's quantum state drops from a higher energy level to a lower one. This isn't a gradual slide or a peaceful transition. It's a sudden, violent shift. And it's not just a shift in energy, it's a shift in the very nature of reality itself. The consequences would be incomprehensible. Let's picture the universe as a vast, intricate tapestry. Each thread represents a law of physics or a fundamental particle woven together to create the complex and beautiful pattern we know as reality. Now imagine if all those threads were suddenly, the tapestry wouldn't just unravel, it would cease to exist entirely. This is what would happen in a false vacuum collapse. The laws of physics would change instantaneously. The basic building blocks of reality, from the smallest particles to the largest galaxies, would be altered beyond recognition or obliterated outright. There would be no warning, no way to prepare, and no way to stop it. But what does this mean on a practical level? Well, in the blink of an eye, stars would flicker out as nuclear fusion grinds to a halt. Planets would disintegrate as the forces holding them together vanish. On a microscopic level, atoms would dissolve as the strong and weak nuclear forces cease to function. The fabric of space-time itself might even change, warping and twisting in ways we can't even begin to predict. There would be no light, no matter, no time, no space. The universe, as we understand it, would simply cease to exist. In essence, A false vacuum collapse would mean the end of the universe as we know it. How likely is a false vacuum collapse to happen? Well, the good news is it's not as likely as you might fear. The concept of a false vacuum collapse is a theoretical possibility, but it's not something that's expected to occur within our lifetime, or even within the lifespan of the universe as we know it. This is because the conditions required for a false vacuum collapse to happen are so extreme and so specific, they're almost beyond comprehension. The reality is we exist in a stable vacuum state, and the energy required to trigger a transition to a lower vacuum state is astronomically high. It's like trying to push a boulder up a hill. Sure, if you could somehow get that boulder to the top and it started rolling down the other side, there would be chaos. But the energy and conditions required to get that boulder to the top of the hill in the first place are almost impossible to achieve. But let's not forget, science is all about probabilities. So while the odds are astronomically low, they're not zero. The universe is vast and old, and strange things can happen. But according to our current understanding of physics, it's more likely that the sun will burn out before a false vacuum collapse happens. And that's not expected for another 5 billion years or so. So while it's a terrifying concept, and while it's theoretically possible, the chances of a false vacuum collapse happening are so slim, they're practically non-existent. It's a bit like worrying about being struck by lightning while winning the lottery. Yes, it could happen, but the odds are so low it's not something you need to lose sleep over. So while it's a terrifying thought, you can sleep easy knowing it's not likely to happen anytime soon. It's a fascinating theory, but why don't scientists want to talk about it? Well, the answer is not that straightforward. The theory of a false vacuum collapse is scientifically interesting, but it's also deeply unsettling. It's like watching a beautiful, intricate sandcastle at the edge of the sea, knowing that one rogue wave could wash it all away. This theory, as terrifying as it might be, is a stark and sobering reminder of our own insignificance in the face of the universe. It's a wake-up call that our existence, our reality, everything we know, understand, and cherish might just be precariously hanging in a delicate balance. You see, scientists are like the rest of us. They have families, homes, ambitions, and dreams. They also grapple with the same existential questions that we all do. They too wonder about the meaning of life, the purpose of existence, and the nature of reality. And the thought that all of it could potentially is as unsettling to them as it is to us. Moreover, the very essence of science is to investigate, understand, and explain the world around us. But when a theory suggests that everything we know could be swept away in a blink of an eye, it becomes a difficult pill to swallow. It's an idea that challenges our understanding of the universe or the laws that govern it. It's a concept that shakes our belief in the permanence of our reality. The theory of a false vacuum collapse is not just another scientific hypothesis. It's a contemplation of the ultimate existential dread. It's a theory that forces us to confront our deepest fears, our darkest anxieties, and our most profound questions. It's a theory that makes us question the very fabric of our existence and the fragility of our reality. So, while the scientific community might shy away from discussing it openly, the theory remains an important part of our understanding of the universe. After all, it's only by grappling with these unsettling theories that we can hope to truly understand the world around us. It's a theory that forces us to confront the ultimate existential dread, the end of everything. So where does this leave us? We've plunged into the depths of a chilling theory, one that peers into the potential precipice of the universe's end. We've dissected the concept of a false vacuum, explored the harrowing consequences of its collapse, and pondered the likelihood of such an event. The very thought of it could send shivers down anyone's spine. Yet this terrifying theory serves as a stark reminder of the universe's vastness and the profound mystery it holds. It underscores the fact that we are but tiny specks in an immense cosmic tapestry, surrounded by enigmas that we are yet to unravel. The unknown can be unsettling, indeed. But isn't it also incredibly fascinating? Isn't it the fuel that powers our curiosity, pushing us to explore, discover, and comprehend the cosmos? The universe is full of mysteries, and while some of them might be terrifying, they also remind us of how much there is to explore, discover, and understand.